I am frequently asked who is the eldest. I am, by 1 year, 1 month,
2 days, 12 and a half hours.
We had strict instructions, brother, as you know, that this would be a very different program from the one we did in San Francisco. However, it fits very much into context with what we did in San Francisco, so as only about 6 or 7 people were there, let us start with a quick overview. The session was called Good to Great from Beginner to Mastery. And my first question of you was, Robert, how do you go from good to great?
If I may, I'll begin with declaring 3 assumptions. My first assumption is that everyone here, however they might define it for themselves, is looking to improve their game, to improve the quality of their performance, to increase the efficiency of their functionality, however we might understand that. We're going to get better. That's my first assumption. Secondly, I assume goodwill. Now, in my industry, you cannot assume goodwill. So, that's my second assumption. My third assumption is that if I begin to witter on, Patricia will redirect me, bring me back to the point, and if I fail to develop an idea, my sister will say, brother, develop. So those are my 3 assumptions. And then, Patricia, how do we go from good to great? Well, before we go from good to great, we have to go from bad to good. So, how do we go from bad to good? First, we have an aim. Richard, in this superb interview with Speaker Magazine in March, Richard answered, I knew early on that I wanted to train as an actor so that he would understand the people he was working with, writing music for. There was an aim. We begin with an aim. My aim at age 11 was to be the greatest guitarist in the world. Well, we can forgive young people many things. As we get older, our aims have to be more realistic. Nevertheless, that was the aim. Secondly, find someone that knows more than you do and ask them to teach you, instruct you, guide you, help you. They don't have to be the best person in the world. They do have to be the person who knows more than you and is at least 1 step on the ladder above you. If you lived in Wimborne at that time, it might have been Kathleen Gartell of the Corfmullen School of Music. So that was my first guitar teacher. An aim. 2, someone that knows better than you. 3, get out of bed. Now, this may sound a little absurd. If anyone here thinks, why does he have to say that? You haven't worked with young musicians. Get out of bed. Now, I worked in my first 2 beat groups, as they were called then, with a very nice singing guitar player, whose mother would wake him up with breakfast at lunchtime. He didn't get out of bed. I left 2 bands because of him. When I would get back from working in the West Country, it may be 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when I was 18, as a semi-pro player, I would practice for perhaps 1 or 2 hours. I arranged daily exercises. And sometimes I would wake up and my hands were still moving over my diatonic arpeggios, and I'd get to bed at 4 or 5 or 6. But I would get up at 8 o'clock to help my father sell real estate. So firstly, we have an aim. Secondly, we go to someone that knows more than us. Thirdly, we get out of bed. Fourthly, we practice. For a guitarist, at least 1 hour a day. Without 1 hour a day, we're not a guitarist. If we don't practice what we do for an hour a day, we don't really do it. Then the 5th point, find people that are better at it than you. For me, find better musicians and see if they will let you work with them. If I could play anything that I was asked to play, the time would come when a better musician would offer me a gig, offer me a piece of work. Then the sixth point is, go to the work. You're bad. The work isn't coming to you. Go to your work. At the time, in Wimborne, in 1967, you moved to London. Nowadays, that's not necessarily true. You can go to Manchester, for example. Back then, you went to London. And then, once you're where your work might be, if you're not being paid for it, you give yourself away. You put yourself out there.